Good evening once again. I am your host, Rowena Suarez, and you're watching Investment Academy. Today we have our guest, Marvin Germo. He is a book author, a stock trader, and always a resource person giving talks about financial planning. So, we have a very exciting kwentuhan here about his journey into where he is right now. Because you're wearing so many hats, right? So you said that you've been helping out people and trading trading your money yourself, and then telling them, advising your friends and colleagues where to put their money, and now you are such you're such a byword already when it comes to financial planning.
So kind of you naman. At that, I'm an advocate of making additional sources of cash. Increasing your cash flow or creating multiple sources. So when I was still employed, I had my primary income was my employment income. Then I had other side things on the side. Then there was the investment front. And then
example lang side things mo.
Dami. I did a couple of things before. Not just di ko habol to earn. I was really wanting to see that is this something that I wanted to do and I can do for the long term. So for example, I was concessioning soft drinks in big conferences. I would get yung mga juices, the soft drinks, I would get the water, and then yun, I was seeing that, is this something that I can actually do? Not just now, is this something that I could actually enjoy? So yun, there were times na lumalabas na yung tao, ubos na yung drinks, I would go to the storage and carry everything. Pagdating sa bahay, pagod na pagod. I would take leaves to be able to do ventures like that. So yung iba tao, when they would be younger, leaves nila, pang bakasyon ako leaves ko, I would do it to do entrepreneurial ventures. So yun, I would write everything down. I will check kung concise ba yung bilang ko ng cash sa linista ko and also the inventory. So yun, I did different things.
So you're really entrepreneurial by nature?
I guess
I would think so.
I like to do new things. I like to do something that it excites me. I guess it's part of my personality. I'm not the type of person who wants to do the same thing for a long period of time. So even
you're not the type who's going to be just behind the desk.
Actually, what I love investing. I love trading. I thought that's something that I'll do lang na straight. But when you do it na wala kang kausap, you don't get to interact, you don't get to share, parang I needed an outlet. So the talks, the books, the columns and everything, they've been an outlet for me to share what I'm actually doing also in my trading, in my investing, in my overall strategy, in how I would do things.
And that's what made you start the book?
Actually, the book, hindi pa yun.
Hindi pa.
If you would go back to the story, my personal clients started to grow. As it started to grow, some of my clients there invited me to do talks. And then to make the long story short, so we get to the book, that started my public speaking and training parang line. And then as that started to grow, I would get messages in Facebook, Twitter, and emails. Marvin, can you do a talk here in Abra? Can you do a talk here in North Cotabato? So sabi ko, okay lang, as long as someone will organize it, I'm willing to do it there. Kasi I really believe that we need to teach people in the provinces kasi dami na sa scam dun eh. And the more financial literacy is done there, it will help them. So sabi ko, ilan kayo? Actually, dalawa lang kami, tatlo. Sabi ko, nako, it might be harder, it's logistically harder if it's a smaller group. So I was actually thinking, what if I make a book that for people who are in Abra, Cagayan, those that don't have access to go to Metro Manila. Kasi when we do public talks outside Metro Manila, it's normally in Davao, in Cebu, kasi that's where people would
the urban area
would normally go.
The rural area. The urban area.
Yeah, in those areas. So sabi ko, if I make a book, at least some of them can get it in the bookstore. As they get it in the bookstore, it would arouse their interest already. It would change the way they think about investing, even in the stock market. Kasi when I initially started, I just wanted to do one book. That was the cause for it. I just wanted something that will trigger them to actually, hey, to think about things that, oh nga no, I'm working right now, but based on what I learned here, I can actually start investing. And that was my primary goal for those that can't go to Metro Manila, for those that can't attend seminars, or even budget-wise, because books are cheaper than seminars. At least it's a trigger point for them. So that's what led me to make the book. I wanted it to reach more Filipinos. it can reach more areas than where I can actually go.
That's good. All right. Before we continue our discussion, can we do our business report first? We have a slideshow for that.
Okay.
Later, that's our next question. Okay, for banking, business, and finance news, 12 firms eye the LRT contract, and those companies are Philippine companies, Korean, Japanese. So there's 12 of them eyeing for the LRT contract. The BSP is ready to act in case of the surge in capital flows. The Department of Energy raises geopolitical concerns regarding our electricity. The stock market seen to test 7,400 points level this week. And NTC seeks the Office of Solicitor General to help on tax refund issue. And for our weekly finance watch, just looking back for last week, the previous week was 7,050, and then the closing as of September 5 was 7,263. It opened at 7,050.72. It went on a high of 7,264.87. It went on a low of 7,050.72. And for our peso-dollar exchange rate, the previous week was 43.660. It opened at 43.650. It went on a high of 43.470. And it went on a low of 43.715. And it averaged 43.59. So for our build your business, start with only 5,390 pesos and be your own boss. You earn unlimited income, you experience exciting travels and rewards, you have the lifestyle you always dreamed of, be trained by the best. The presentation of the business is every Monday in Makati and Thursday in Ortigas from 6 to 9 p.m. For questions, you may get in touch with us at 0917-862-0803. And for business life education, please get in touch with DMK Compass. That's www.dmcompass.com. Okay, so going back, so you have your books here.
Yeah.
Your two books here that is made by our guest, Mr. Marvin Germo. You have only two.
My goal after writing the first one, sabi ko, why not stop there? So I plan to write 7 books in 7 years. So
Okay.
parang Harry Potter.
Oh, okay.
So that's my initial plan. So I think writing, it's really something like when you start doing it, it's something that when you love it, you'll do it over and over again because
Yeah.
it's an avenue for you to
But don't you
communicate
run
your
out of ideas to write in your books, or?
When I was writing my second book already, I stopped writing in my website. I stopped writing in some of my columns to be able to focus on it. But because it's true, if you keep on writing, there will be some areas where maubusan ka na ng ideas. So when I was trying to finish my book, I stopped writing in my other columns first.
So you had to, like, you write also in Philippine Inquirer?
No, I'm Business Mirror, Raptor, and Money Sense Magazine, and then also my website. I would normally post 1 article a day in my website, but after this, when I was doing it, I think for a month I just posted like 4 or 5. It was really tapered down.
I see. So right now, I'm sure it sold so many already. And because do you still keep on printing?
Yeah, as long as how do I put this?
As long as there's people still.
When it runs out from the printer, we just keep on printing it. So it's dependent on the demand of the bookstores also, and the orders that we get from people also.
So right now, your basic observation, the stock market is now in the 7,400 level, 7,200, 300. So where do you think it's going?
That's the amazing thing about the stock market. Number one, no one can forecast where the market is going on a consistent basis. Because we have to understand that on the short term, the stock market is primarily driven by news. And regardless of what the news is, there's two sides to every transaction. Good news that can be perceived for some people, okay lang yan, they won't buy as much. Or a bad news that's not as bad as what people think wouldn't bring the stock market down. So what am I saying? Since the stock prices are driven by news, it's not easy to predict what's going to happen. But what we know are a couple of things. Number one, our stock market is still in an uptrend. The market is still very bullish. If I believe if we break past 7,400, there's a big chance for it to even go higher over the next few months. Also, it will continue to progress. But on a fundamental note, also, our market is relatively expensive.
Yes.
We're more expensive already compared to other markets in the region. But not just that, we're already expensive compared to our own historical price-to-earnings ratio. So it means that our historical track record of our earnings based on the price, we're on the higher side already now. But on an economic level, companies are still doing well. OFW remittances, BPO earnings are going to be the trigger. So the economy is good, but the question is, since it's a stock market, is the economy good? Is the companies doing well? The answer is yes. But is it a cheap price to come in? Maybe
No.
maybe not.
No.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
So that's where you play around it. Do you come in now? If you come in at a higher price, you need to have a strategy that bumili ka ng mataas. What do you do when it goes down? Do you have the emotional fortitude to actually wait on it if you make a mistake, or do you want to trade the markets and come in and out of it?
Well, let's say kagaya like the question of this our guest, no, our viewer. What is the industry that I should get into when it comes to the stock market? I want to realize at least 30% gain in the next 5
Okay.
years. Anong advice mo dyan?
The 30% gain, I've seen a lot
In
of...
the next 5 years.
Yeah.
Oo.
I've seen a lot
So,
of
ibig
people...
sabihin, that's long term. Conservatively, yeah.
I've seen a lot of people do that. I've also seen a lot of people lose money in 5 years. So it would depend primarily if you're investing in the stock market straight. It would depend on your skill also. It would depend on you selecting the right stocks. It would also depending on using charting to time your trades. And you
Is
using
there like
this
a formula for charting
Is there a formula for charting?
or like what should they look out for when
Okay,
they're charting?
here's the thing. Sige, I'll draw na lang. There's three things in... Do I stand?
Yeah.
There's three things about technical analysis.
Lapit na lang natin.
When you look at technical analysis, there's what you call three types of trends. There's what you call an
Yung
uptrend
trend,
where the stocks would go this way. There's what you call a downtrend where the market normally goes this way. And there's what you call a sideways market where the market does not go anywhere. When you're investing in stocks, you normally look for trends that are going up. Your goal is to stay in the market, you stay in stocks that are looking this way, and once you see it reverse and turn to
Sell.
something like this, you should totally avoid it. You should not buy stocks like this, or you should start selling already your positions. The problem is for some people investing is that when the stock is going down, they would actually think, okay na yan, it went down 10%, it's at a discount, I'd buy it. But since you're investing in the stock market, a stock that's going down will continue go down to go down until proven otherwise, until you see something significant change in it. So that's a problem. If you buy here, this is relatively lower than this. It's lower already by a certain degree.
Yeah.
But what's going to stop it from going lower? Since we can't predict where prices are going, how will we know if it's the best place to buy? So I normally use these three types of trends to tell me that when I see it happen in this configuration, when I see an uptrend brewing, I want to be in the market and I want to stay in the market until I see it change into something different. But that's if you want to time it. There's a lot of studies that people use. They call PE ratios that PE is price to earnings ratio. PE is price to earnings ratio. This is your stock price over the earnings per share.
Yeah.
It means the higher the PE ratio, the more expensive the stock would become. So some people, when the PE ratio of a company goes above 20 times, some say, I don't want to buy it first. I'll wait for it to go down further. So certain things like that. There's a large study that
Okay. So basically, look out for the uptrend, downtrend, and the sideways.
Yep.
In the uptrend, if it's going, it's better to buy in the bottom, right? In the
that's-
bottom of if it's going up, but you don't know if that's going to happen,
no one knows
right?
where the bottom is. What I normally look for is I'm okay not buying here. I'm okay buying when I know it's already confirmed that it's actually going up. So that's what charting will teach you. It doesn't tell you to buy at the bottom, but it tells you to buy when you know it's already moving up.
Okay.
The cons of that naman is when you know it's going up already, you buy it at a relatively higher price.
I see.
But yeah,
Okay.
at least it's going up.
Okay.
And then
yeah.
ganun din sa downtrend. On a sideways market, you don't know where the market is going, but can you still make money off of it? Yes, you can.
Long term.
You can actually buy here. They call this a support. Buy here, then sell at the resistance when it goes to a certain point here, and then just repeat it over and over.
I see. All right. So there you go, folks. Our learning for today about the uptrend, the downtrend, and the sideways in the market. We'll be back right away.